Hi, my name is Bente, I'm the Norse Witch, and welcome to another Q&A. I hope you prepared a hot drink or a snack. Mine is still steaming. I don't know if you can see that, but it's probably far too hot still. It's okay. So let's start. I prepared the questions. Let's just start with Instagram, shall we? If it hasn't been asked yet, what is your favorite plant? Of course, it depends on whether you ask for plants that I use in my craft or just houseplants, because I also have a lot of houseplants and I love my houseplants. If it comes down to what plant I own the most, then I would say pothos or epipremnum plants, because I have a lot of those. But I also really love alocasia and calatheas. If you have houseplants, you know that those are like bitches. But for some reason I really love them, like alocasia dragon scale, love that. Alocasia freyja, love that. Basically any calathea, apart from the like velvety ones, because those get pests so quickly, it's annoying. And when it comes to my craft, I would say the herb I use the most is probably sandalwood, because I burn a lot of sandalwood incense. But I think the plant I connect to most for some reason is mugwort. Don't know why, just love that plant. What's your take on other religions and how do they affect your practice in a positive or a negative way? Steaming question for a steaming tea. I actually have been a Christian before, and I have considered myself to be a Buddhist before, but I was a teenager, didn't really properly take it seriously. So I don't have a problem with any other religions as long as the people that practice that religion don't hurt other people. Like I don't care what you believe in, as long as you don't hurt other people or other beings in general. That's fine with me. You can believe in whatever you want. So I'm not really bothered by any religions. Of course, I don't believe in any other religion than Norse Paganism. But yeah, other religions don't bother me as long as their practitioners don't bother me. That is the thing. I think religions are rarely really bad. The practitioners of these, or the followers of these religions, those are the problem. How do you know when it is your intuition talking to you and not just imagination or paranoia? That is such a good question, because oftentimes it can feel like it's your imagination, or if you doubt your intuition, you could think it is your imagination, especially when it comes to like interpreting signs and stuff. Using your intuition is always the best thing that you can do, but of course it can always feel like, oh, I'm just imagining it. I just want a deity to reach out to me, so it's just my imagination telling me that these signs are really occurring. For me personally, my intuition comes like from my belly area. So if my intuition says yes, 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 then it's just my belly area. It just responds to it, kind of like really physically. I just feel like a tingling sensation. But of course that can be different for a lot of people. I know also people who don't really have that well of an access to their intuition. So I can't really answer that question for each and everyone, because it's just different for everyone. That's just how it works for me. For me, it's really like a physical sensation in my like belly area, a tingling sensation when my intuition tells me something. That's it. What are the best resources to learn more about Norse paganism? I'm on the start of my journey. First off, awesome for you. Welcome. It's an amazing religion. Welcome to it. when it comes to resources, of course, the Eddas and the sagas, I would recommend anyone reading it. If you're really just getting into it, maybe another approach would be to first maybe read books like Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, because in that book, for example, it's just a retelling of the Eddas and the sagas, but it is in a more like day-to-day English, and I think it's easier to understand. Of course, I don't know like the normal standard English Edda translations, but the German ones are kind of hard to read and hard to understand because they're quite old. So I think Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology is awesome to start out. Other than that, if you want a more like scientific approach to like the runes and the sagas and stuff like that, I think Jackson Crawford's YouTube channel is amazing. I will link it down in the video description. So that's also a great resource. I mean, there are also other Norse pagans on YouTube. I personally don't watch any others. So unfortunately, I cannot recommend any of them because I just don't properly know their content. What's your advice for baby witches? I actually made a video on how to start out in witchcraft. I will link it up here, I think up there. Other than that, start out slow. Don't put pressure on yourself. Try to learn to trust your intuition and to get rid of the doubt, because the doubt gets in your way and it's not good for anything. Get in touch with other practitioners, get other like perspectives, points of views. Read a lot of books, just in general, cross-reference books and YouTube channels and every information that you get, cross-reference. Don't blindly believe stuff on TikTok. I think that is extremely important nowadays. Of course, my memory is bad. I don't remember if I already said it. Start out with the basics, like get like into a regular meditation practice because that's extremely important. Learn how to ground, learn how to center, learn how to maybe put up personal wards. Like in general, protection magic would be the first thing that I always tell other people to dive into first, because if you can do that, then you can safely do other things. Oh, and also try out visualization. Try to learn how to visualize things, and if you cannot do it, like don't just try it, and if it doesn't really work out the first time, then you think, oh, I just can't do it. Because most people can, but there are people who actually cannot. I think it's called aphantasia, I don't know how to pronounce that. But there are people who actually cannot. They can't. They just can't visualize. And if you are one of these people who just can't visualize, no matter how hard you try and how hard you work on it, because it just takes some time until you get better. But if you end up realizing that you really can't do it, then try to find another way of getting your intention across. So maybe by using emotions, or maybe by feeling it. Just try to get a feeling for what of your clair senses works the best. Because everyone seems to have like a gift for something. Doesn't matter if it's clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. Try to find out which one of your senses works best, because then you can use that in your craft and that will help you immensely. Next question. What do you think about the idea from Freyja Aswin to compare Freyr with Cernunnos? I have asked myself the same question. I have personally never worked with Cernunnos, so I don't really know what his energies feel like. But I have read about him. I know like in general what he's about. And of course I also know that about Freyr. So I kind of understand where she's coming from. I think if Cernunnos had an equivalent in Norse mythology, then I think that would probably be Freyr. So I kind of agree. Next question. How did you stay motivated during your witchcraft journey? I didn't always. That's the easy answer. I also had like times in my life where I wasn't motivated and I didn't do anything. That is completely normal. Everyone experiences that at some point. What mostly helps me is getting back to the basics. just trying to meditate daily again, because I always have nice experiences when I meditate, so that often motivates me. Also, just getting into a nice witchy book. It doesn't matter if it's a book that I have read before, or maybe a book about a topic that I know nothing about. So diving into a completely new field of witchcraft would also be something that could motivate me. Or watching YouTube videos on witchcraft, that motivates me every day. So I always tend to go back to the really old Harmony Nice videos, because I got into witchcraft through Harmony Nice's videos. So watching those videos is really melancholic for me. I'm doing that at the moment. It just gives me this really nice fuzzy feeling of being a beginner baby witch and being all excited about it. I think Freyja is reaching out to me. What are some signs that she may send? First of all, I already made a video on Freyja, so I will put that up there if you want to watch that. Freyja is connected to, for example, birds of prey, especially falcons, to cats, so maybe those could be signs. Cats are always... they're hard to interpret as a sign, because cats are just so normal to our society. Cats are basically everywhere, but those could be things that she could send a sign through. Just a random interest in Freyja that comes out of nowhere. That seems to be something that she does regularly. That, for example, was for me the case. She didn't send me 10 cats or something. I was just completely randomly interested in her without being interested in her beforehand, at all. And that seems to be the case for a lot of people. Next, what is your favorite genre of music? For a long time I would have just said metalcore. I was a hardcore metalcore fan. Nowadays I just listen to a lot of different kinds of music, completely depending on what mood I'm in or what kind of mood I want to be in, because music really, really, really manipulates my emotions and just, the state I'm in and what I feel like. So when I want to be all cozy, I would listen to maybe some very chill indie music, or if I want some self-confidence maybe, then I would probably listen to core, metalcore. Other than that, for example, during rituals, I always listen to Nordic folk music. So Danheim, Bardruna, Heilung, that kind of stuff. I basically nowadays listen to basically anything that's self-made, because I hate electronic music. Hate it. Can't stand it. Sorry if you like it, it's not for me. So that's basically the only thing I don't really listen to. Yeah, and I'm really into 70s music. I love 70s music. Would you mind sharing more on shamanic experience? Not personal details, maybe the process of getting in that headspace, or how to know if you're ready. There's probably one thing that you should know how to do, and that is how to get into different states of consciousness, because shamanism works mostly with the theta state. So knowing how to get into trances, that is something that you should know how to do. But even if you don't know how to do it and you're excited about shamanism, then you don't have to first be an expert in that. You can also just try it out and learn by doing. I think you should maybe read some books beforehand, just the same thing that you would do with any other magical practice. Just get some info about it. Don't just dive into it head first without knowing anything about it. Yeah, getting into the headspace. That is a big thing, I think, because that's really personal to anyone. I think you should just find a way to get into this, magical shamanic mindset. For me, for example, it really works with shamanic drumming. So I always, no matter what I do, any type of shamanic journeying, for example, I would listen to recordings of shamanic drumming. There are a lot on YouTube. That really helps me to just get deep into the trance. I would also burn incense every time, because the smell of incense really gets me into this mindset. I would also like dim the lights and use like a blindfold. That's something that a lot of people do. Yeah, you just have to find what works for yourself. Just try it out and see how you get into that mindset. It's honestly pretty similar to how to get into a magical mindset. For example, for a ritual, I do mostly the same things. Of course, I wouldn't wear a blindfold, but I would also like listen to some kind of music that just gets me into this mindset. I would also burn incense, and I would also like dim the lights, or just completely only like practice with candles. Yeah, I think that's it. Hey, I just wonder about how you decide on what offerings you should give to your deities. If it's okay with you, I would love to know more about your deity work, daily rituals, special rituals, or anything you want to share on the subject. Love you. Oh, love you too. That was so nice. On the topic of offerings, I have a video on that. I will also link it on top. It is only on the topic of how to decide what offerings to give, so I won't dig deep into this right here because I have a video on that already. My personal deity work. I don't have really daily rituals. I try to light my deity candles as often as I remember to do it, because my deity altar and also my normal witchcraft altar are both in my bedroom, and I normally don't spend any time in my bedroom apart from when I'm sleeping or when I'm like performing rituals. So I usually don't let my candles burn there because I don't want to burn my house down by accident. I'm currently trying to get in the habit of meditating at my altar, and while I meditate, having my deity candles lit, because that's just a way of being able to light my candles every day. Other than that, I don't have anything that I do daily, really. My deity work is really intuitive. So, for example, I would just wake up and feel the sudden urge to do something for a deity, or I would go grocery shopping and pass by a like flower shop, and I would have the sudden urge to get flowers for Freyja. Stuff like that. I don't really plan it, I just do it intuitively. Whenever I feel the need to give an offering, I give an offering. I don't do it every full moon or new moon or anything like that. For example, one thing that I can tell you is I recently wanted to go on a walk on the cemetery nearby, and I was just really randomly thinking like, oh, I could go on a walk on the cemetery and I could do it to connect to hell, because I have recently started working with hell. And of course, as a death goddess, connecting to her on a cemetery makes sense. So I just went there and I kind of connected to her on the way there already. It was like really strange because connecting to her kind of comes really naturally and really intuitively, and yeah, it's just really easy, like much easier than connecting to Odin or Freyja and communicating with them. With hell, it's much easier, don't know why. And I basically ended up letting her guide my way through the cemetery. I let her tell me where I should go. And I also just did that intuitively. It actually felt like someone was pulling me in the direction. So wherever I had that feeling, I just went. And that was actually really nice. So I do like that kind of stuff. It's actually like 100% intuitive, nothing planned. Of course, when I do like when I perform any rituals, I call on my deities and I do a lot of stuff for them. I rarely give like physical offerings. I do from time to time, but I don't really like give them food offerings every Sunday or stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just more of a person who like starts doing big things for them. For example, I'm doing this YouTube channel for Odin, or I'm going to therapy for Freyja, or I'm getting into shadow work and ancestor work for hell. So like these big things, I'm a person that does big things for the deity instead of like giving them small offerings. Next question. I would love to know more about runes, how you got into them, books that helped you, any knowledge and advice you'll be willing to share. I've been interested in them for a little while now, but need more materials to help me have a better understanding of what I'm doing. Also, you're one of my favorite YouTubers and your channel has helped me grow. Oh my god, that is so nice. Thank you so much. I'm always so touched when people tell me that I'm like one of their favorite YouTubers, because I'm like a tiny little boring hobbit person from Germany putting stuff on the internet, and people tell me that I'm their favorite YouTuber or one of their favorite YouTubers. That's just crazy to me. So thank you. Apart from that, runes. Whew. When did I get into runes? I really got into runes like as soon as I got into witchcraft. Runes were one of the first things that I got into, like tarot and runes. It took me a long time to get into runes and to kind of understand them. It really actually took me like working with Odin to properly understand the runes. In the beginning, I really had a hard time understanding the meanings and stuff, because now I know that there are so many different meanings to each and every rune. And it really took me a long time to properly get into it. And in the end, I think I ended up working through 5 books and like condensing all the infos from these books down into like a 40-page long PDF document. I did that as an offering for Odin, actually. So that's how I really got into them. And now I just pull daily runes and write the meanings down so that I can just learn their meaning by heart, because I have a very bad memory, so I have to do it the hard way. I think I will probably make proper videos on the topic of runes, because it's a huge topic, and I don't really want to get into it like really lightly now, because it is such a huge topic. But I think I can give you some recommendations on books. Wait a minute. I will get some books. Okay. Books. I brought books. So, books on the runes. I probably won't make you really happy, because the books I used are from 3 different authors, which 2 of them are dicks. Let's just say that. One of them is associated with the AFA, which is like a folkish organization, basically racist, sexist, everything like that. The other thing is Islamophobic. So I would not recommend buying their books new, because then they will get your money and you don't want them to get your money. So I still think the books are great, but I would recommend getting them secondhand so that they don't earn any money from it. But the books that I use were, for example, Freyja Aswyn's Northern Mysteries and Magic. She's the Islamophobic one, by the way. She like tweeted Islamophobic stuff. Very sad, because I really liked her book. Yeah, that's one that I used. Please don't buy it new. And other than that, the second author, who is like an academic, I think he has a PhD in like rune stuff, really knowledgeable about the topic, but unfortunately associated with the AFA, so also not a nice person. Please don't buy their books new. And that is Edred Thorsson, or Edred Thorsson, I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. He has like multiple books on runes, so one of them, as you can see, is in German. I don't know what it's called in English, but he has like basically 2 books that are great. The second one is like this, Futhark. It's maybe even possible that these are exactly the same books in like English and in German. That's actually possible. But yeah, he has multiple books on the runes. You will probably if you read his books, some of them are really old, and you read other books about the runes, you will find that a lot of other authors just copy his knowledge. It's pretty funny. And the last one is by, I don't know if it's a German author, but the book is in German. It's by Igor Warneck. I really like that. You will probably get it. You will probably get it in English too. I will see if I find the books in English, and then I will put the links in the video description. But remember, don't buy the books by Edred Thorsson and Freyja Aswyn new. Please don't. And other than that, I will probably make videos on the roots, because it's an awesome topic, but it's a big, huge topic. I have no questions, but I would like to tell you you're my favorite YouTuber. Oh my god, I was just talking about that. That's so cute. Oh, I'm tearing up. Oh my god. I have a question about the plugs on your earlobes. Where do you get yours? They're so stunning. I guess you are talking about these. I don't know if you can see them. They are actually pretty cheap ones from Crazy Factory. Probably wouldn't recommend buying from there because I think they produce in China and very cheap and the quality isn't good. So I bet there are some like sellers on Etsy who probably also make plugs like these. But yeah, mine were from Crazy Factory. They are ages old. Nowadays I wouldn't get any jewelry from there anymore. Hey, can you tell me in which store do you usually buy your crystals or witchy stuff? I would love to have some recommendations. Thanks for your videos. I don't really buy stuff online anymore. Not really. There are 2 stores, mainly, yeah, 3 stores maybe around my area where I go to. One is Practical Magic in Hamburg, one is Hexerei in Hamburg, and one is Weiße Feder in Lüneburg. But just saying, they don't really care about cultural appropriation. They sell white sage in their shops, like all of them do, sadly. But yeah, those are the shops nearby. Then there is like this really small crystal shop nearby also in Hamburg. Oh, but I just remembered my deity statues that I have on my deity altar. I actually have them from an Etsy shop, which I will link down below because they are pretty. Next question. Greetings, Norse Witch. I would like to know if you utilize a specific tarot deck or you utilize a handful. Reading tarot cards and or oracle cards may sometimes be different in every witch's craft. What would you say as to the difference between tarot cards and oracle cards? Blessed be, merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Yeah. So I personally only use one deck of tarot. I have multiple pendulums, but for some reason I only use one tarot deck. Just never really wanted to use more than one. But maybe if I would do more tarot readings for other people, then maybe I would get another one, because I feel like having a tarot deck for yourself and having a tarot deck for reading for other people makes sense. My tarot is the Golden Art Nouveau tarot deck. I will put a photo up here. I personally love it because it's really, really, really similar to the standard Rider-Waite deck, which for me personally is the easiest to interpret just from the pictures. I really struggle with tarot decks that look like nothing like the Rider-Waite. For example, the Wild Unknown, for example, I couldn't work with that because I just couldn't interpret the images. So I really love my deck because it looks like the Rider-Waite, but prettier. If you know what I mean, the Rider-Waite isn't really sexy as a tarot. So yeah, that's why I really love that. And yeah, when it comes to oracle cards, I have some decks. For example, I have the Dreamscape Oracle. I recently got that, which I really like. And I actually have it here. The Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle. Oh my god, that was dusty. Ugh. Yeah, as you can see, I don't really use it that often anymore. I just kind of feel like if I have a tarot and I know how to use the tarot, I don't need an oracle deck. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of oracle cards in general. I really prefer using the tarot. I got questions on my tea. What kind of tea I'm drinking, what my favorite tea is, and whether I use like sugar or honey in my tea. I drink a lot of different kinds of teas. I think my favorite brand is like the English Tea Shop brand. I really love it. I think I'm actually drinking an English Tea Shop tea right now. So those are awesome. Those are organic, so even better. I'm hardcore. I don't sweeten my tea at all. I don't drink it with sugar. I don't drink it with honey, no milk, nothing, only the tea. And my favorite tea, I think I have answered that before, and I think I said it was chai if I had to choose, just mainly because you can make chai latte with it, and I love chai latte. But I also like matcha. I also really like peppermint and just basic black tea, because I use black tea. I drink black tea every morning. Great question. I actually have multiple questions. Would you rather fight a bear or a gorilla? Can I say none? I don't think I would survive any of those. Well, maybe a bear. I feel like a bear would kill me faster. If you could only eat one food forever without having to worry about nutritional value or anything like that, what would it be? That's a hard question. Maybe pizza? Or maybe pasta, because you can make more like different kinds of food with pasta. But I love pizza. I think it would basically be pizza. I'm very basic and I say pizza. And that's it for today's Q&A. If you have any questions for future Q&As, then drop them in the comments and maybe I will answer them in the future. As always, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And maybe if you like my content in general, maybe you want to become my patron, because I now have a Patreon. And of course, you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with all the boring stuff that I do in my day-to-day life. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!